bomb I'm dropping today.
It's this part.
Yeah, you'll love this one. I picked the dress.
To the groom. Did you really?
I picked the dress.
No, we didn't.
And we went to Lisa's bridal, and Robyn and I went and looked at dresses, and she picked one out, and I was like, holy cow, it's like I'd seen it in my dreams, you know?
Thanks, that's just nice to do.
I think it's important. I don't think that it's fair that I not be involved in it.
You went as a groom ever involved with the wedding dress. Like you cared what I wore at all on our wedding. I mean, that wasn't even, you didn't even care.
Friends, it's December 20th, Wednesday, 2023, the infamous wedding dress, Robyn Brown's 11-day honeymoon, and Robyn and Kody's disrespectful wedding revisited by the sister wives because TLC loves ratings. I'm actually kind of interested in this, though, because I would love to hear their points of view today versus back then. We all know that Robyn Brown got a dress. No. We all know that the show started with Robyn Brown taking the wives to the store to try on dresses. She didn't pick out a dress. Then Robyn Brown found a dress, didn't tell them what the dress was. And then Kody drops a bomb on everyone on the couch and tells them that he picked out Robyn's dress. And that was the moment everyone in America didn't like Robyn anymore. Well, it was one of the many reasons. The wedding dress, the 11-day honeymoon, the kiss. Are they going to talk about the kiss while Christine was delivering Truly? It's time to look back. Kody, Robyn, and the crew look back at the infamous wedding dress. Let's dive into the topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video.
It's just not cool.
Kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really emotionally involved with any of the dresses, but it's just weird. And then all of a sudden it was like this thing that we had all done together, like the women. And then here's Kody saying, oh, well, it wasn't really for real. Like, it took me back, obviously. It was really quite funny because you were so excited. You're like, I have something to tell you, and it's going to be so exciting.
It wasn't funny. You look like an idiot.
I still remember when this show came out. I still remember watching this episode for the very first time way back in the day. Before I was even, I don't even think I was married. Maybe, I was married. But I don't think, I definitely wasn't a mom yet. And I remember that I thought Kody was the biggest douche canoe, whatever you want to call him. I thought he was a buffoon. And I remember seeing a glimmer in Christine then. I didn't know what was going to happen here. I didn't know if she was ever going to leave him. I still remember back then hoping one of these women would leave. But I remember this specific moment, and I thought, what kind of man goes and picks out a wedding dress with their bride? I was a non-traditional bride. I had a bachelorette party and a bachelor party with my husband. We did everything together. But one thing I didn't do was let him pick out my dress because I wanted to surprise him on our wedding day with the first look. So I thought it was strange that Robyn would forego that tradition. And it just felt like she was already starting out with secrets. Now, I want to see, obviously you see their reactions. Robyn's already said that Kody didn't pick out the dress. So we're going to have conflicting and competing narratives here. But I'm interested. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
Sorry.
It wasn't funny to me either. It was actually something that I had to ask him, not to share with anybody. For the sake of sort of protecting both experiences, I didn't feel it was necessary for you guys to know that.
That's a really hard one. That's a place where, I don't even think I've forgiven. Mary made her dress. Janelle didn't wear a wedding dress for our wedding. Christine was just throwing together a wedding, and I was living a long way away from her with a family.
That was the moment that I was not liking Robyn because she wanted to keep a secret. She wanted them to never know. She was willing to go to the grave. She wanted that vaulted by Kody, and Kody doesn't have a vault, to not tell them that he picked out the dress. She wanted to have secrets between her and Kody that made her and Kody have something together that wasn't with the family. That was one of the first moments I was like, this woman doesn't want to be a part of this family. She just wants to be with Kody. And trust me, I don't want to live polygamy. I wouldn't want to have to share my husband. I wouldn't want to have his other wives that he's having intimate times with come with me to pick out a dress. I certainly wouldn't want to be around the one that's pregnant because that would remind me that he's being intimate with her. I definitely wouldn't want them in my wedding. I wouldn't want them wearing dresses at my wedding. I wouldn't want to be involved in their wedding and them involved in my wedding. But Robyn picked polygamy and she didn't want to share him and wanted to have secrets with him right off the bat. And Kody's going to go into a ridiculous explanation here about how Mary made her own dress, Janelle didn't wear a dress, and Christine's dress was, I don't know, her mom, Annie, actually made the dress. And he was living out of town with different areas with Christine. The wedding was put together very quickly because Christine did not want to have a long courtship because he was a married man. And Kody treated the situations all differently. And he's going to try to explain here that because that experience was stolen from him with the other women and he wanted a say in what they wore at his wedding, at their weddings, he wanted to make a choice. He wanted to decide what Robyn wore for a dress. It was his decision, he says. Robyn says it's not his decision. But so he's building up this explanation. But back then, Robyn didn't want them to know. And that was the first time I was like, this woman is not trustworthy. You don't keep secrets with people you don't even know. And going behind their back, girl, this isn't your boyfriend that you have by yourself. He's got 13 kids and 3 women that he's doing it with. Just saying.
My involvement in seeing a dress that was going to work for Robyn incited some kind of jealousy in Christine that was irrational.
That was the day when I realized, he is way more in love with Robyn than he was with me when we got married. It was a hard day.
Kody and I didn't do anything wrong with him. He didn't pick the dress. Kody gave his input and he told me what he liked, but I ultimately made the decision.
And friends, if you're wondering if they have any remorse all these years later for doing this behind the women's back, the answer would be affirmative no. Yes, I realize that is 2 things that are polar opposite. But Robyn says that she and Kody did absolutely nothing wrong, and she actually denies that Kody picked out the dress, even though back in season 1, she did not deny that Kody picked out the dress. Back in season 1, she never even said a word. She allowed Kody to say that he picked the dress. She never rebutted it. She never said it was wrong. Today, 14 years later, she says, Kody didn't pick out the dress. I did. It was my decision. Kody says that it's irrational for Christine to be jealous that he picked out a dress for Robyn. Christine was pregnant postpartum when first season was being filmed. She had just had Truly and was very vulnerable. She had postpartum depression. She had a husband that was chasing tail. She was probably hoping for some support, wanted someone to help her with the baby, wanted some love, wanted some reassurance. But instead, all these years later, that was very irrational for her to be mad that I helped pick out someone else's dress. Christine says that's when she realized that loved Robyn more than he loved her because, well, Kody didn't want to marry Christine. He barely even was happy the day that they got married. In the book, he says it went too fast. He wasn't really excited about the wedding day. He said everything was just too quick. He was overwhelmed. And Christine said their wedding day was sad. And so he went into his marriage with Christine not wanting to marry her, but he still did it anyway. Whose fault is that, Kody? Right? Whose fault is that? Oh, that's right. You wanted to become prophet. That's why you married her. I remember. So Christine is honest, Robyn is lying, and Kody is still insensitive.
I knew what I wanted her to wear from the very beginning. And why my wives were out picking the dress without me, it was something I wanted to be involved with. And Christine was upset that I didn't want to be involved with her dress. Problem with the whole experience that I had with Christine was I didn't really want to be married to her.
So now I understand. So now men are the ones that get to decide what women wear, and they're the ones that get to pick out the dress because it's their wedding, not the wife's wedding, not the woman's wedding, not the woman's opinion, not the woman's place. And he's all, I don't understand why they were even picking out a dress with her. Well, friend, if you remember, This trip was for them to look for dresses for themselves, right? For the wedding. And they all had to wear that ugly color brown. I'll never understand why they picked that color, other than it's a terrible color. And Robyn then decided to try dresses on. But it was filmed for the show, Kody. That's why they went with her. I'm fairly confident that if y'all didn't have a television show, your wives wouldn't have gone with Robyn. So what you're saying here is that you were jealous that you didn't get to be included in a scene for a show that was completely set up by production. And so you went off camera with Robyn to get the dress on your own. Robyn didn't pick out a dress that day. I don't know why. I can't say what happened. She tried on a bunch of dresses, but she didn't pick one out. And then all of a sudden she had a dress and they didn't show how she picked it out. And then you find out that she gets the dress off camera. And like Janelle said, it made her feel like that whole scene was fake. So now Kody is crying about a fake setup scene by production. And he's saying, I wanted to pick the dress because I'm the man and caveman. And then he ends it with, well, I didn't even want to marry Christine anyway. So who cares? So again, Robyn and Kody did nothing wrong. And Kody wanted to pick out the dress. And his sexist behavior is showing. If a man tries to control what you wear and wants to decide what you wear, that's a sign of an abusive man. It's okay for a man to have an opinion, but the way that he said it is, I wanted what she wore. I already knew what I wanted her to wear. He's already placing ownership on it. It's gross. Robyn, you picked a winner.
It was a move on Kody's part. Like, it really was. But maybe that was the beginning of some shows of favoritism. I have no idea.
Do you remember when the show started and they were so prim and proper and they never said curse words? And do you remember there was like an entire episode because Logan moved to Las Vegas and they were worried about the kids picking up bad language, and Logan was dropping all kinds of F-bombs, and all of the siblings were like, oh my gosh, Logan has a bad mouth. And everyone, even the parents, were like, it's so grotesque to curse. Cursing is against our religion, right? And then now it's every other word out of Kody's mouth is an F-bomb or an a-hole or a jerk or a jackwagon, you know? And then Janelle's like, that was a shit move by Kody. Do you remember when they didn't swear and now they're just like, F it, I'm gonna F it. But it was a crap move by Kody. Now, if you're wondering why I don't swear as much on this channel, it's just because I got moms that watch me or dads that probably have little ones that might be in the room. So I try to keep it as clean as possible. But they can bleep it out on the show. And I agree with Janelle that it was a crap move by Kody. And then she's all, I mean, maybe it's a sign that there was favoritism from the beginning. I don't know. I hope they watch the whole first season. I hope they discuss the wedding dress. I hope they discuss the kiss. I hope they discuss the 11-day honeymoon. I hope they discuss Robyn moving, demanding a whole night with Kody before she even was a wife, demanding all of this time from Kody, demanding that he participate in being a father of her kids, or, you know, divorcing Mary for Robyn, or getting Robyn a first house when they get to Vegas, getting Robyn a nice big house to live in by herself in Lehigh. There was a million reasons why this was a favoritism. I'll never forget watching the very first episode, and you can all pipe on in the comments below. But I remember watching, and I remember thinking, there is absolutely no way that he is in a healthy relationship with these women. And I'll never forget when he introduced Christine and he had his hands over her shoulder. And I remember thinking, she looks so uncomfortable with him. And I kept thinking, there is no way that those two really like each other. It was evident that she liked him, but I could tell from the beginning that he was not into Christine. And they didn't seem like they even knew each other that well. It was a weird moment for me because as each one of them were being introduced, I kept getting the feeling that the only one he knew very well was Mary. And I felt like Christine was just this woman that lived in the basement that took care of all the kids and didn't have a toaster because more people die from toasters than sharks. Do you remember that? And then she had her burnt toast, and then they were all laughing about it because that's what Christine does, is she burns toast because she won't buy a toaster because he's like, she listens to all her friends on the internet. And Christine was so doughy-eyed and like naive back then. Yeah. And then as the seasons progressed, I just kept thinking even more and more and more that Robyn started speaking for Kody. She started like piping in. She had an opinion about what was going on. And after, I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons, I had this like moment and I kept thinking, there is no way he's in a relationship with anyone but Robyn anymore. Because Mary was always looking dejected, Christine was always upset and crying, and Janelle was like off in La La Land. I mean, remember when they went to Sedona for marriage counseling and Janelle's just like, yeah, I'm totally happy being by myself. It's cool. I'm not really that engaged in the family anymore. That was season 6. You know, for years, most of us knew that Robyn was the favorite. Most of us could tell that there was more in this, more than the story that was happening. And Christine is starting to tell more of the story and she's been more honest. Kody will still to this day never admit favoritism. He'll think that he did nothing wrong. He'll think that he's justified in everything that he did. He'll say that he just wanted to be a part of it. Robyn will never admit that she didn't want plural marriage. She will never admit that she didn't abide by the code of the family or try to blend in. You know, they always say that when you join a group that if you want to get along in the group, at least, you would try to go along with what the group does. Like, you wouldn't try to change the entire group culture to fit you. And Robyn came into the family and didn't want to accept what the family did, and instead wanted the family to change to what she wanted and what she needed and what she expected. Whereas not considering the fact that this family had been together for how many years at this point, 16, I think, and they had a way of doing things and they had a culture that they established, but that wasn't good enough for Robyn. Robyn owned the family before she even came into the family, and that entitlement has never left. So really, at the end of the day, Robyn is still Your Highness, Uranus, and she is still entitled, still justifying herself, still saying she did nothing wrong. Kody is still reminding everyone that he didn't want to marry Christine, which again, I just want to remind Kody, if you didn't want to marry Christine, why were you so mad that she left? If you didn't want to marry Christine, why'd you go off and have 6 kids with her? If you didn't want to marry Christine, why'd you have sex with her? If you didn't want to marry Christine, why'd you have a knife in the kidneys? Why did you scream and yell? Why are you still having a hissy fit about it? It's like he has to tell everyone that he didn't want to marry her so that he feels better about her leaving him and having a good life. And then I just want to remind everyone that even though Robyn started out looking, I think she's attractive. She looks worn out. She looks haggard. She looks run down. And I liked her eyebrows way back in season 1 better than I do now. And I never comment on her appearance about the eyebrows. All you guys are obsessed with her eyebrows. You call her crybrows. Every day, every video is filled with comments about her eyebrows. I'll just say her eyebrows were better back in season 1 than they are today. So Robyn has not aged very well. They would say she's aged like milk, and I think that's because Kody is a handful and a mess. So what are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.